more quilt finishing. So I actually am going to be basting some quilts. I have 2 Halloween quilt tops that I want to finish. I decided that since I have like a stack of quilt tops with backings and some of them have bindings sitting on my shelf, I decided since I have batting that I want to finish these quilts up. So today I have 2 quilts, and these ones are Halloween. This first one is definitely Halloween, but this one here, I'm calling it Halloween. So let me share these with you. So this one I shared last year. So I finished this a year ago, this quilt top. It is called, I think it's Witch's Night Out by It's So Emma. And it's a super cute quilt. You can see on this side the broom. But I am going to base this one. And the backing I picked out for this one is this fabric. Okay, then my second quilt top is this, I don't know, I just drew a blank for a minute. Granny Square. So this is a Granny Square quilt. And then I kind of like that. I felt like these are fall colors, but it also fallish, Halloweenish. So when I went into a local quilt shop here, I picked out this fabric for the backing, and it is kind of it's Halloweeny to me. It has like the candy corn on it, the candies, kind of old fashioned colors, kind of muted colors, I guess, more muted colors to match this Granny Square quilt. So this will be the backing. So those are the 2 quilt tops that I want to get basted, and I thought I would share that with you guys. So 2 quilt tops, 2 backings. I have batting on a roll, I guess. Well, is it partially on a roll? I guess it's folded. It's more like on a bolt. But anyway, I just get my batting from Joann Fabrics. So I have a little bit of batting. I know I have enough to do these 2 quilts. I'm not sure if I will have enough to do any other quilts right now, but my plan is once I run out of batting to buy more. But today I do hope to get these basted, and I want to share that with you guys. And so thanks so much for watching, and let's get to basting these quilts. I have 1 quilt basted. I'm so excited, you guys. Just looking at this quilt, I'm excited to quilt it up. I'm not sure what design I will do just yet, but I'm happy it is basted. So I got my second quilt all basted, and I did have a challenge with this one because the border seems to want to be like ripply, and I don't know why, but I was able to smooth it out and pin it down. And I decided once I quilt it up, if it doesn't quilt up very nice, I might just trim it off, trim the border off. So I'll have to see how it quilts up. And I cannot recall if the pattern had a border or if I just added a border. So I may be trimming that border off depending on how it quilts up. And I'm okay with that because I feel like, you know what, sometimes you just have to change your plans and kind of, I don't know, change things. So anyway, I don't know why it's all ripply. I was able to smooth it out and pin it, and it seemed like it was fine, but I will have to see how it quilts up. But for now, I'm at least happy that it is all basted up. So I have my machine all set up to do some free motion quilting. And today is a new day. You can probably hear my washing machine. It's kind of loud. Trying to get some laundry going as I do this. But I already tested out my stitches. I like how everything looks. I wound my bobbins. I cleaned my machine. I changed my needles, or one needle. And when I do my free motion quilting on my Juki, I just change all my settings on my machine, but I like to start off in the batting to begin, kind of to secure my stitches. But I'm going to show you what I do on my Juki. So what I do is I lower the presser foot pressure. So the foot pressure here. So I just bring this, I twist this so that, let's see, I don't know if you can see, but this line here goes all the way up to the bottom rather than being down. I change my tension to a 1, and then I change my stitch length to in between a 0 and a 1, and then I drop my feed dogs. So I guess you can't see all that, but I drop my feed dogs, and then my stitch length, I usually do it in between a 0 and a 1. Some people like to do it on a 0, but I find this works good for me. So like I said, I'm gonna zoom in here. I cleaned my machine, wound my bobbins, and changed my needle. So to me, those are the most important things I like to do before I ever begin my free motion quilting. And of course, changing all the settings, that's what you have to do. But the needle, cleaning the machine, winding the bobbins really helps me be successful when I free motion quilt. Okay, so I put my needle down, I put my needle down, brought my needle up, and then I have my top thread here and my bobbin thread here. And what I do when I'm in my batting, I lower my foot down. I take a few stitches just in one spot, and then I'll take some more and move my project. And then when I have these threads here, I just clip them kind of short. I'm okay if they stick out a little bit because they're not on my project. They're on the batting that will be trimmed away. But if I was in my project on my quilt, I would trim those really close so I don't have to come back and do it later, because I used to always come back and do that later, but there would be times I would forget, and I don't want to have, I guess, threads all over my quilt. Okay, so here's my quilt. I just kind of like to bunch it all up on my, you can kind of see it's like bunched, smushed and bunched. This is the Witch's Night Out quilt. I decided I'm going to do a, let's see, I'll probably do a meander on this one. I'm not sure how tightly I'll do my quilting. But anyway, let me share a little bit of that with you guys. And then I will speed it up and show you the finished project, but I can start a little bit and show you just a little bit. Sometimes I don't know how well you guys can see. Okay, so I took out a few pins. Okay, smoothed everything out. Here we go. I don't know if I like that gap there, but that's how it's gonna be. Okay, and then I kind of look at here and I kind of look at the back and I like, let's see. Yeah, I don't love my stitches. I guess they're okay. So I think what I might do is I might go sometimes the screw comes loose, I'm not sure why, but let's see. Let me see how I like these stitches. Yeah, I don't feel, yeah, they're not bad. Okay, so I do like them. So now I'm just going to, I just came off my project again, my quilt, and just into the batting, just so I could kind of see how I like the quilting. But that's what I have done so far right there. So I'm just going to do like a loose meander. I don't want to do it too tight of quilting. But yeah, I like it. So I will speed this up and share at the end with you. I finished quilting up my Witch's Night Out quilt. So here it is, it's all quilted up. And next on the list is to trim it up and add binding. All right, so I have my Baby Lock sewing machine out. I have it set to a 4 on the stitch length. I'm doing a straight stitch. So here we go. So I have my backing fabric, my batting, and my quilt. I try to make sure that they're all together because sometimes I've had this backing fabric fold over and then it gets quilted in the back, kind of like that. And when that happens, of course, I have to seam rip. So you don't want to do that. So anyway, this pin's kind of close for my liking, so I'll pull that out. I kind of just feel, I don't know what I'm trying to tell you guys. I'm kind of feeling out of my comfort zone with this machine because it's just something new. Sorry about bonking the camera. I do have a chair over here holding over that way. I have a chair holding the quilt so it doesn't fall on the ground. And then I have a chair on the edge of my table kind of being a support as well. So I'm just going to push this down or smooth this out with my hands. Try not to get my body in there so you guys can see. And I'm just eyeballing it to this corner. And I kind of do that a lot on stuff. I eyeball stuff a lot. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I can already feel it's pulling a little bit, so I'm just gonna loosen that up. I'm trying to eyeball that needle. Sometimes it's hard. But let's like this. Stop on that corner. How does it look? Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Okay, yay. It's exciting when you first start and you're like, okay, everything's working out. Let's just fingers crossed it keeps working out. So now my plan is to travel from here all the way down to the bottom of this corner. So let's see how I do. I mean, maybe I really should mark this. As I'm talking to you guys, I'm like, yeah, maybe I should mark this. That's all right. It's pretty much just the center of the square here. I didn't want to mark this quilt because I just feel like the pins get in the way. And sometimes I feel like marking things can be a pain. When I'm making like boxy bags or little pouches and stuff, I don't mind marking things. But I tell you what, I feel like on quilts, it's hard for me. I mean, because the ruler will get in the way where these pins are. It will lay down and like the ruler will be like this and then the pin will be in the way. So I am not marking this quilt. Okay. All right, I got to that corner. Now I'll just eyeball it and go to this corner and continue on. So I am going to speed it up and share that with you guys. I got my granny square quilt all quilted up. I just did X's kind of through the center. So really loose quilting. It's really wrinkly, so of course that will come out in the wash. But this one's for me. You can see on the back the quilting a little better, just kind of like a crosshatch. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I like the loose quilting. I think it's going to drape really nice, and I'm excited to have this done for Halloween and for fall.